Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I had to start a little bit later today. Sorry about that. Than I anticipated, but it's fine. That's neither here nor there. So I just want to say hello to everybody in the chat. I see you guys got started without me. I see Dindu. I see Tommy. I see Gianni. I see TT. Who else is here? Arms. Gerard. Wow, you guys have been chatting for a while here. I see there's about 10 folks in the chat. I just went out to pick up food for the family, and roads were pretty good. I was surprised. Roads were not bad, but it's really cold. It's 7 degrees here already and dropping. So pretty darn cold. And you always got to be careful with that weather, obviously. But we're not here to talk about weather, are we? We are here to talk about wine. Let's see here. One of these days I'll get a mic like Tommy's. But until then, I'm going to use the headset. All right, so just so I don't know if anyone else was able to get the bottle. I know it was last minute. It was kind of last minute, so I totally get why you wouldn't be able to get it. There's only a couple of days' notice, and in the future, I intend to give much more notice towards this so that you can get the bottle. But anyway, it is Introvert is the wine. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon. And it's produced by Precision Winemakers, which is a Napa Valley-based conglomerate that produces a lot of wines, a lot of different wines. This, from what I understand, though, the grapes from this came from Sonoma County, not Napa, but the company that produced it is located primarily in Napa. So if you're familiar with California wine, you kind of know that Sonoma makes both Sonoma and Napa great areas for wine. Cabernet is great either way, so it's not a big deal. where it comes from. It's not like there's a distinct region which is better than others. Some people say Russian River Valley is really good, and that's true. It is, but I don't know if the distinction is that much that you could tell. Let's see who else. Oh, some people joining. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Bella. Hi. Who else is in the chat here? Mike F. How you doing, buddy? Hope I didn't miss anybody here. But thank you all for joining. I really, really appreciate it. We're up to 16 people. I've never had that many people. I don't think I've ever had that many people in the chat before. But anyway, so let's start off by just talking about the bottle itself. I mean, this is a really thick bottle, which you see a lot in Cabernets, and it goes along with the tradition of Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a strong grape, so they usually put them in strong, thick bottles. It goes with the whole romance around it. A nice bottle, nice label. The label is, I don't know, it's some type of design. It's kind of interesting, and it has some nice wording, nice lettering. I like the lettering. It's like old world lettering. It's pretty cool. It's a 2020, and it's a reserve. Now, a lot of people get caught up on the reserve stuff and say, oh, this reserve, it's got to be special. Well, in America, it really doesn't mean much. When a company puts on there that it's reserve, in other countries, it does mean something. In other countries like Italy or France or other nations where they have stricter wine laws, reserve means something. And it usually has to do with aging. But in America, it could be anything. It could just mean that they literally reserved a bunch of their grapes to make this bottle, make this particular wine. So it's not that big of a deal. I think it's really a marketing technique in America, reserve, so you think it's special. But I've never been able to tell the difference between a reserve wine and a non-reserve wine in America or California grapes. So just food for thought there on that one. So, all right, so we have our bottle. Now, the first thing I want to do is I poured mine about an hour ago. And I do that because I want it to air out, especially with Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a heavier wine. It's probably one of the heaviest. The only heavier grape, I think, might be Syrah, the only heavier grape, or maybe Merlot, but it's a heavy grape. So I want it to air out. I want the wine to air out. I want oxidization to occur. It's going to make the tastes come out. It makes the smells come out, everything. So let me start off by there we go. I don't know what happened there. I just got cut out. That's really weird. Anyway, the first thing we do is you check the color, right? And the way you check the color of it, because we want to just see what it looks like. We use a piece of white paper and we put the light up against it and tell us what you think about the grape. What do you think about the color of the wine? Like I see a deep purple color. To me, that means it's a heavier wine. It has like a purple hue around the edge. So, we're talking about a heavier wine. We're not talking about a light wine. It's going to be thick and it's going to hopefully have a lot of taste that we want to get into. Oh, Ralph is here. Okay. Hi, Ralph. Thank you for joining. I think I saw someone say Ralph. I don't see him in the chat, but someone said Ralph. Anyway. So now I've aired it up, but always swirl your wine. Always swirl the wine to help the oxidization. You got to do that, right? You want that. You want the wine to open up. Now, with the Cabernet, what are we going to look for when we taste this wine? Well, first of all, we're going to start off by smelling it. What's the nose like? That's what we call it, the nose. So let's start off by giving it a good sniff. And you want to really put your nose in there. You want to get your nose in there. Take a good whiff. Now, what I'm smelling is a cherry, like a deep cherry. Oh, okay. Ralph rose up. Okay, Ralph's not here yet. Okay, I get it. Joe Dell is here. How are you doing, Joe Dell? Nice to see you. Yeah, I'm getting cherry. I'm getting a powerful cherry smell. A very, very powerful cherry smell. And I'm not getting any smell of oak, which is interesting because a lot of times you're going to smell it. You're going to smell the oak, and that's going to be a wood smell or a cream smell, tobacco smell, like those burnt smells, like stuff like that. That's from the oak that you put Cabernet in, and most Cabernets are oaked. And this one, I looked it up, and this one is oaked, but I guess they're using older barrels because it's not powerful. I'm not smelling a lot of oak in it. So I don't know if that's good or bad. We'll find out. You know, some people like more oak, some people like less oak. I happen to like to have some oak taste in Cabernets, or actually any wine that I'm drinking. I like the smell of that, or the smell and the taste of that. I think it makes the wine more complex. All right, so in terms of the odor, that's all I really get. I wonder if, yeah, I mean, it's been open long enough. It's been in the glass long enough that if I'm not getting that smell now, I don't think it's going to open up much more. I think this is the smell. This is the smell of the wine. So I'm getting that deep cherry smell, like it's like a sweet smell, like a deep cherry, like a red cherry, a dark cherry, right? All right. So we have the nose. Now we're gonna taste it. Now, one thing I always do is I always make sure my palate is clean, and I do that by water. Even before my first sip, I want to put water in with my Snoopy holiday glass, of course. So cleaned out the any taste that I had because I just ate dinner, right? So I don't want any of that stuff interfering right now. Many people love wine with dinner, and that's great. But if you really want to get into the taste, you want to make sure there's nothing in your mouth, that your palate's clean, and water's the best way to do that. All right, so the palate is clean. Now, let's start with the tasting and see what we find. Cabernets can have plum taste. They can have cherry taste. They can have a jammy taste, like a deep jam, a black cherry, blackberries. Those are the traditional plums. Yeah, I said plums already. Those are the traditional flavors that you get out of a Cabernet Sauvignon. So let's see if there are any in here, or if it's completely tasteless. It could be either or. I don't know. Never had this before. Haven't tasted it before. All right. Now, tannins. I forgot to mention tannins. Now, this wine has strong tannins. Now, tannins are when you take a red wine and you feel like your mouth is drying out. The wine itself dries out your mouth. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting a lot of tannins on this, which doesn't surprise me because it's a relatively young Cabernet. Cabernet is a 2020. You know, it's only 2 years old. It's only been on for sale for 2 years. Usually Cabernets, the best Cabernets, you wait 7, 8, 10, 15 years before you drink them. So tannins are pretty strong. All right, doesn't mean it's bad, but tannins are pretty strong. I'm getting a lot of acidity, which is okay. I'm trying to get now. What is the fruit that I'm tasting? That's the main thing I'm trying to get at. What's the fruit that's in this? I don't taste any oak. I don't taste any oak at all. Blackberry, Johnny says blackberry, and I think I am tasting blackberry. I'm definitely tasting blackberry. It's not too jammy. A lot of times Cabernets will be jammy, like you take a spoon of reserves and you put them in your mouth and you get that overpowering taste in your mouth, and this one's not jammy. Hey, Wise Up Show is here. Nice to have you. Claudio, nice to see you, buddy. Good. Thank you for joining. So black cherry, yeah, or blackberry. I'm sorry, blackberry. Now I smelled cherry. I didn't smell blackberry. Now, but I don't know what a blackberry smells like. Quite frankly, I don't think I know what a blackberry smells like. But let me see if I can taste any of what I smelt, which was the black cherry or dark cherry. It's not jammy, Tommy. Nope, it's not. And I do get some. I'm getting some of that cherry. But this is not sweet, though. It's not overpoweringly sweet. A lot of times, and I'm not faulting people that like it, because if you like it, you like it. Your taste is your taste. My taste is my taste. But a lot of people like a lot of a sweet wine. This is not a sweet wine. If you like sweet wine, and there's a difference between sweet and fruit, because I can taste fruit, but I'm not tasting that sugar and that sweet taste. That's not my cup of tea. Like if this was a sweet wine, I would immediately end it. That's not my thing. I don't like it. But this one, it tastes I taste the dark, like the dark cherry, and I'm tasting the blackberry. So it's interesting. It's not bad. It really isn't bad. I mean, it's only $8.99. I got it on sale at Bottle King. It normally goes for $9 to $10, so I got a small sale on it. But it's and it is a mass-produced wine. It's something that's done. They produce a lot of it. So, but it's well balanced. I wish there was more oaking, though. I do wish there was more oaking, but but that's okay. Now, so it's okay. I mean, look, for $8 or $9, you can't go wrong with this. You could drink this with any type of food, any type of heavy food. Cabernet goes well with beef, pork, even chicken. I mean, not so much with chicken. A lot of times you want to go with a lighter red for chicken, but that's fine. You can use it. You can drink this with chicken. Now, one thing I want to try with this is some cheese. I have some cheddar cheese that I cut up, and see how the wine goes with the cheddar, because tasting wine with cheese is that's a age-old tradition, right? The French do it, the Italians do it, and there's a reason for that, because the fat in the cheese will cut through the wine, and it'll make it, a more difficult wine or a harder, harsher wine softer and easier to eat, easier to drink, more pleasant to drink. So, especially this one, which is young and the tannins haven't aged, so it's kind of rough. This should cut through the tannins. So let's see how it is. So this is an aged cheddar. This is 3 years aged cheddar. Pretty strong. Christopher Toro, I'm sorry you couldn't find the wine. I've seen it in a couple of places, but there's no accounting. Sometimes, and a lot of times with these liquor stores, is they carry it for a while and then it vanishes. They carry it again and then it vanishes. So it's always going to be a hit or miss on whether you can find the wine or not. All right, so have the cheddar. The other thing is, if you do find the wine, come back and watch this video. It's still good for that. You can open your wine and drink it and watch the video at the same time and go through it. All right, so now with the cheese, this is actually delightful with the cheese, because it's cutting out all the harshness of a young wine. And tannins are beaten down. The tannins aren't overpowering. a lot of it cuts through the acidity. The acidity, I'm not tasting the acidity. It's getting smoother the more cheese I eat, the more I drink it, the more it's smoother. It's a smoother experience. In fact, I'm going to keep eating it. Yeah. I mean, again, and I can't say this enough. A lot of times I say that, prices do not mean a lot in wine. And what I mean by that is when you go into a store and you see something for $150, $200, that does not necessarily mean it's going to be a great bottle of wine. But what it does mean is that there's less of that. There's less of that wine. It's kind of rare. And a lot of care was put into creating it. That's just a fact. With the cheaper wines like this one, a lot of times they don't put a lot of care into it. It's churn it out, produce a lot of it, churn it out. And because of that, it's not going to be as good, right? So this one for $9, I'm not saying this is the greatest thing I've ever tasted by far. It has a lot of flaws to it. But when you consider that it's only $9 and you could drink this anytime during the week, anytime you're having a meal, and it'll go with just about everything, I think it's worth it. And especially if you like Cabernets, if you like heavier wines that have that cherry taste, that plum taste, and has some tannins. So it's complex in the sense that it has the tannins in it, it has acidity, it has a fruit taste, and it's dry. But it's not perfectly balanced. Like I said, I think it should be oaked more. There's not enough oaking going on in it. That would make it more complex. I want to see what the 14.5% alcohol, and I think the acidity in the alcohol, the acidity that I'm tasting, a lot of it, the hotness is probably from the alcohol. Because another tip about this is, when wines in California, wines have the percentage, it's the law, they have to put a percentage on it. But in reality, those wines usually have a higher percentage than what they say. So this is 14.5% alcohol. It's probably more like 15.5%, which is high. It's a high alcohol content for wine. You're not thinking about that when you're drinking a wine. You don't want that much alcohol. But anyway, that's what it is. It's a good bargain for the price. It's decent wine. It has complexity, and you could buy it. And if you open a bottle and you don't finish it, big deal. You only spent $8 on it. So that's been primarily my problem. We know with a lot of the more expensive wines is that I'm the only one that drinks it, and I don't drink a lot of it. I open it and I have a glass, and then it's it's kind of shot. And that's where I got into the whole freezing thing to try to save it, just from a cost perspective, because I'm not going to waste a whole bottle of wine just because I feel like having one glass of wine. But with stuff like this, you can keep a couple of bottles of these around, have them open, open them up, have your glass with dinner or not with dinner, and then, save it. You could, or if you don't want to save it, you can throw it out. It's not that big of a deal. You're paying $8. You're paying $8 for the whole bottle. And so, what I will do is I will freeze this bottle, and I'll do a short later on and see how it tasted after 24 hours or so. But let me just see what's going on in the chat here. Let's see here. Mo is here now. Hey Mo, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for joining. Let's see if I miss Assassino. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming in. Tony is here. I didn't say hello to her. I'm sorry about that. Adam, of course. How could I miss Adam? Christopher Toro. I did say hi to Christopher Toro. What else is going on here? Anybody else I missed here? I hope not. I hope I didn't miss anybody. But so, I think this was, like I said, it's a good bottle, decent bottle, something you can have tasted by. So what I like to do, let's say I've been on for 25 minutes. Does anybody have any questions I can ask? I'd be happy to answer some questions, I should say. And if I don't know the answers, I will get you the answers. But, Yes, please hit the like button. And if you aren't subscribed, please do. Yeah, I'll tell you, the more I eat it with cheese, the more I like it. I mean, I could just sit back, have a lump of cheese, relax, and just drink this. I mean, it's just, it's good. And Tony says she gets an instant headache. Well, the headache is probably, I mean, unless you have a wine allergy, unless you have an allergy, the headache is probably from the sulfites in the wine. So if you were to look at and shop for a non-sulfite wine, you probably would be okay. Probably wouldn't get the headache. It's worth a try. Stig says hashtag this wine, and yeah, I'll do that. I'll definitely do that. I will put the hashtag the wine in it, definitely. Mike F asked about the cheese making it easier for me to tolerate red wines. Is that how it works? Dry wines. I'm sorry, dry wines. No. The cheese would not have an effect on the sweetness of the wine. You know, dry meaning no sweetness, but it would have an effect on the tannins of the wine, which is where you traditionally in red wine. I don't think you ever find them in white wines. I've never found them in white wines, but your mouth dries out, right? Your mouth dries out, or it's acid. Like the cheese will cut through that and make it smooth. Like it takes away that harshness that you encounter on these younger wines. If you have like a if you have like a 20-year-old bottle of wine, you don't need the cheese because the wine has aged and you're not going to have those harsh tannins in it or high acidity and such. It's kind of the age is going to bring that out of it. And Gianni, yeah, tannins are. I don't know where the word comes from. I should really research that. But that's what it means. It means the effect in your mouth when you're drinking that that kind of sucks the moisture out of your mouth, and it feels like your mouth is completely dried out. They call that tannins. I should really look. That's a good point. I should really look that up and figure out what the origin is. I like that. I like looking up the origins of things. It helps me remember them, and that helps my understanding of them as well. I see Tommy talking to Chris about fish tomorrow. Yeah, look, Christmas Eve, especially in the Italian culture, a lot of fish, and that really comes from the Catholic tradition, right, of not eating meat on Christmas Eve. But you're not going to want to eat. You're not going to want to drink something like this tomorrow. If you're going all fish, you would definitely not want to do this. You'd want to go with a white wine. No red, no Cabernet at all. You want to go white. I actually have a German wine that I bought. I don't have it here with me. It's downstairs. But I bought a German wine for tomorrow because there will be fish. I mean, we don't do the whole 7 fish tradition, but we do some fish. And I bought a Gewürztraminer, which is a German white grape that to drink with the fish. And it's usually a drier white. A lot of the whites are very sweet, but this one's drier. So that's what I'll be drinking tomorrow night. If I have any fish, maybe I won't. I don't know, but there'll be fish there. So I'll have that for anyone who wants that. And Gianna says you don't like white wine with fish, really? Well, what do you do? When you drink fish? Do you drink any type of wine with it? I mean, when you eat fish, do you drink any type of wine? You drink red with white with fish? Mike F asks, "What some wines give me an instant headache? What did you tell her to avoid? Avoid wines with sulfites in them because that's usually what causes the headaches. And the sulfites are in there to preserve the wine. So any type of organic wine, and I know that sounds like hokey and new age and all that stuff, organic. But the good thing about it is they won't have sulfites in it. So if you're worried about a headache, look for an organic wine, or some of them say specifically no sulfites. So that's probably your problem, unless you're, like I said, unless you have a wine allergy. Some people do have a wine allergy. Oh, Gianni, you drink beer. Okay, yeah, no, absolutely, I get that. Beer with, yeah, sure, yeah. Um, and Chianti with the fish. Okay, well, I mean, Chianti's a red, but it's a lighter red. Sangiovese's grapes are lighter, so that kind of makes sense. It's really the heaviness of the red grapes that you don't want to mix and that's why you default to white, because white is by nature those grapes are lighter. But yeah, Mo likes dry white with fish. Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm really a dry head guy, right? I mean, I'm always about dry wine. I just don't like sweet wine. Some people the opposite. Some people love sweet wine. Moscato, they love Moscato. I don't like that stuff. But yeah, it's nothing's good or bad. Remember that. Like you're in high school, there's no bad when you're a kid, there's no bad questions. Well, there's no bad with wine taste either. You like this, you like that. It's up to you, whatever you like. Um, and Tony says she gets an instant headache with beer too. Well, then I don't know what that is all about because beer, as far as I know, doesn't have sulfites in it. So I don't know what that's about. I don't know. Peroni, yeah, Peroni's good beer. I like Peroni. I'm not a big beer guy, but I do like Peroni. Christopher with Supersad. So what type of wine do you drink when you're eating them? The cut up Supersad. Um, um, 2 degrees where you are. Wow, yeah, it's 7 degrees here. Yeah, I mean, like a sweet wine. Is it hot Supersad? Because that would probably make sense to me if you're counteracting the hotness, the spiciness with the sweetness, if that's what you're eating. Um, Tony, fermentation or I mean, fermentation and distillation are two different things. So I don't know if they would necessarily correlate. I, I don't know. They're two completely different processes. So, AOV, can you see my question? Let me see. I'm sorry about that, Gerard. I did not see it. Let me see. Uh, prosciutti. Let me see. Where is this? There's a scene from Russia with Love where the assassins expose himself by ordering red wine with his fish dinner. James Bond figured it out. That was a good one. I don't know. I don't, Gerard. I don't see your question in here. Oh, what type is it? What type of soil is that wine grown in? Okay, this this wine here is grown in Sonoma, California. So it's yeah, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. I don't have the specifics of it. Like, I don't know if it's riverbed. If it like Russian River is riverbed soil. I don't know about this. I don't know exactly where these grapes were grown. It was really hard to find a lot about this wine, because it's a common wine. If it's a more expensive wine, you could find a lot more information about it. But this one, it's inexpensive, so there's not much information out there about it. Um, and I apologize if I'm missing any questions because I was really not paying attention to the chat as I was going through the process here. Well, Tony, if you can have a 7 and 7 and not get a headache, that's distilled liquor. So it's not the distillation that's the issue for you. Mozzarella cheese as well. Okay, yeah. Like again, the cheese is gonna hammer those tannins. You're gonna smooth it out, make it a lot easier, a lot smoother experience. The more fatty the cheese, the better. See, now I'm done. I have my glass of wine. I'm done. I'm not a big drinker. I can't drink a lot. I really can't. Um, it's really all about the taste for me. So I mean, I'm just kind of done with this bottle. I have to freeze it or do something with it. No one else in the house can drink. I mean, my kids can't drink, and my wife doesn't like drinking. So it's just going to sit here. But tomorrow we'll have people over, so I'll unfreeze it. I'll freeze it tonight. I'll defrost it tomorrow. And if anyone's having the meat, because we do have meat here, and they want to accompany it with this, they can drink this tomorrow. Yeah, Ralph's Rock and Rye. That Rock and Rye, man, I don't know how he drinks it. I can't drink that stuff. It's so sweet. Hi, Don. How are you, buddy? I didn't see you in here. Well, maybe you just joined, but I missed you if you were in here. A lot of people tonight. I'm so happy. Thank you, guys. And I really appreciate you spending this evening with me. This evening before Christmas Eve, which is why I have my Santa hat on. We do some fish arms. We don't do like the 7 things. No, we don't. And it's interesting because my wife's is 100% Sicilian, and they're really big. And the Sicilians are really big with that. So they, but they never, her aunt passed away a few years ago, but her aunt used to do that, all the 7 dishes. And we found that, certain parts of the fish, whenever people would stay away from certain fish and they never get eaten. So I guess we kind of got away from that. But yeah, some of that fish is hard to like, so we don't do that. And I come back, and my background is not Sicilian, so we never, my grandparents never really did that stuff. They, my grandmother was from Naples, or her parents were from Naples, so my great grandparents were from Naples, and then my grandfather's family was from Foggia, which is in Puglia, the other side of the boot. The other side. Naples is on the west coast, and Puglia is on the east coast. Oh, thank you, Christopher. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, I want to wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas. Hope you have a great time and spend it with family or friends or whomever you're spending time with, and just relax and try to enjoy it. And we need this. We have things are rough these days for a lot of people. So if you can spend some time and relax and enjoy it, it'll help. It will really help you. Adam, you look forward to the 7 fishes. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're into all those fish, that's great. It's a great tradition. If you like them, that's awesome. When are you going to do that? You're not going to do that all the time. It makes the date special. It makes Christmas Eve special. Yeah, Arm's right. It's a tradition, right? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and I love traditions. I do. I think that's great. We have an obligation to carry on traditions, I think. Kathy. Hi, Kathy. I didn't know you were in here. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Gerard, what is 7 fishes? I don't know them off the top of my head. Gerard asks. So, Arms, maybe you can, or Adam, one of you guys could list them out. I don't know. That's a lot of fish to list out. But there's 7 different types of fishes. It's just it originated as a Sicilian tradition that on Christmas Eve they will, families will have 7 fishes for dinner. 7 different types of fishes, and I can't tell you what they are. But you could probably look it up or Google it and you'd find it. But yeah, it's a lot of fish, to eat. I don't know. Does anyone have a wrench? This is the question for you guys in general. Does anyone have a wrench in here? Because I tried to give out wrenches and I can't tell from here. I tried to put some people in as wrenches. I don't know if it worked. But whatever. I don't know. So we have no need for them anyway right now. There's been no trolls coming in, so that's good. There we go, Arms. Thank you. Calamari. Calamar. Octopus. Yes. Clams. Lobster. Black mussel. Shrimp. And bacala. The bacala is the one that a lot of the family did not like. So we kind of got away from that. Nobody would really eat that. Scungili, yes, scungili, yep. I remember my wife's aunt would make zuppa de clams. Would make that. Then there'd be like there would be a seafood salad, which is a mix of all different types of fish in that. And Christopher, yes, it is expensive, absolutely, especially with all the prices going up. And Don likes the bacalao. Yeah, some people like it. It's a powerful fish. Yeah. But if you have a like for it, that's great. That's awesome. Yep, zuppa de clams. Yeah, Gerard. Bacalao is a type of fish. I don't know. I don't know what the American name for it is. I don't know. Cod. There it is. Thank you, Gianni. Cod. Yep, cod. Thank you, TT. Thank you so much. God bless you too. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. So Don, you also have oysters. Wow. You have a lot of fish. That's pretty cool. You don't come across that too often. And now I can't really eat that much. I can't really eat too much, especially the shellfish, because I had a bout of gout specifically from shellfish, and that was brutal, man. You don't want to do that. You want to stay away from that stuff. That's brutal stuff. Such pain. So I keep away from the shellfish from now on. So this is an interesting chat talking about the fishes. Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks, man. It's horrible. So it's I have a general question for you guys. Has anyone bought wine specifically for Christmas Eve or Christmas that they're planning on doing or serving? And if so, would you care to share what it is? Like I said, I have the Gewürztraminer. It's a German grape, and it's actually a German producer too. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but that's what I'm doing for Christmas Eve. And then I got a bunch for Christmas Day. Northern Italian wines from Piedmont, and I'll see what I can do. Maybe I don't know. I don't think I can do a tasting on them, but they'll probably be gone. But if anything's left over, maybe I could do a tasting on those later on. Right, Don. Yeah, yep. That's why I stay away from beer too. And not that I drink beer much often, but I stay away from it too because I'm afraid of that. Adam is saying oysters and clams on ice with a few beers goes down tomorrow around 12 with a very select few. Very good. Nice. You got it all planned out. Your cat is more well behaved than Ralph's. What cat? I don't have any cats in here. Where's the cat? Yeah, the cat was here only a little bit when I got blacked out before. I guess the cat ran through. Mike F. Oh, yeah. Well, Mike F., you like sweet wines, right? That's definitely going to be a sweet one. Yeah, you like that. That's awesome. That's a good choice. If you like sweet wines, that's the way to go. Just eating the rest of this cheese, or I can't let it go. Can't let it go for waste, man. Riesling, yeah, Spalties. Just a little bit more. Wow, 14 people still hanging with me. This is pretty cool. Gerard, I hope you are feeling better, and I hope you're getting on the mend. We need you back in full action at home. I miss those telescope videos. I really do. I really like those. And your tutorials on the skies. I really like those when you were doing those during the summer. Those were really cool. Adam, yeah, a little dry. Otherwise, it goes down too easy. That sweet stuff will go down very easy. You know what? The sweet stuff that goes down really easy is those old fashions, man. They're bad news. You start serving old fashions, next thing I know, I'm passed out. I can't do it. I just can't do it. We need the elf sighting. I don't know. Where's Stiggs? I don't know. Where's Stiggs tonight? Here's an idea. Let's see. I'm going to try this. I'll put the link in if anyone wanted to try to join. I don't even know if that works. My first time ever trying to do that. And I tell you the truth, I wouldn't even know how to do it. So it's pot luck if I was able to do it or not. But I put the link in the chat in case anyone wanted to join. Yeah, I don't know if that link worked, but anyway. Arms, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. Don, what's my favorite wine? My favorite wine is, I would say, Barolo from Piedmont. I love the Nebbiolo grape. I love the wines from the Nebbiolo grape, and Barolo is like, the main one that you know of. But I love the taste of that wine. It's really what got me into wine about 20 years ago when I first tasted that, and I said, "This is awesome. I love this." So that's it. And Piedmont wines, primarily the Barolos, which come from Nebbiolos. I mean, I predominantly like Italian wines. Now, Thedo.
Hey.
How are you, buddy?
Good, my friend. Wanted to check out your link to see if it was working for you.
Yeah, why not? That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's worked. It worked. I've never done that before. So, learn something every day.
No, absolutely. You got a great show going.
Yeah, I mean, I have 48 minutes. Man, I've never done a show that long.
Hey, don't forget what crew you're in. I mean, we could go 2-3 hours now.
That's true. Gerard, stay well. I see you got to go. Go stay well. Bong Funk is in the house. Hey, Bong Funk.
The Bong Funk. And plus, you got a good crowd in there, and you're staying steady, so that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Okay, my friend. Well,
so
I'm
how's
going to
get back there real quick. How's the snow? Is it a lot? Are you getting a lot of snow up there? Real quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm all good. It's coming down heavy now, so we'll probably get a lot overnight. I'll do another video in a couple hours and show you guys. I'll do a nice short.
All right. Cool. Yeah. We just got a dusting here. That's it. Just a dusting. We had nothing else. Now it's just frigid. Nothing happening. Just frigid.
Right. They're lucky. I'm just saying that's nice. I wish it was that here. The temperatures, they said it'll be 0 by 9-10. So.
Mm-hmm.
What are you
it's cold.
Do?
Man, look, you live almost up in the Great North there, man. You're up there.
I'm used to it. I just complain.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, listen, thank you for joining and jumping on. I appreciate it.
You got any time, Paisan? You need anything, just holler.
All right, cool. Have
a good night.
Well,
have a good rest of the show. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Let's see what else is going on in the chat here. Bong Funk's got the cellar full. Nice. I like it. Maddie Marinara. Welcome, Maddie. Thank you so much for joining. I just subbed to you. I didn't know anything about you, and I saw you on TheGuild show, and I subbed to you. I like you. I like what you got up there. Some heavy hitters in the chat tonight, Chris says. We got some heavy hitters. We got Judge in the chat tonight. But yeah, no, it's listen, this has been a lot of fun for me. 50 minutes is the longest I've ever done. Not that I've done a lot. I mean, I've traditionally been a record and post the recorded video guy. So it's just, this is like my second. I think I did one way back, but my second most recent ones. Maybe someday I'll get a better camera. I mean, this laptop's old, dude. It's old. But at 50 minutes, I think I'm going to start to check out here. And, that music that I put on at the beginning was non-copyrighted. So we'll see if I get a copyright claim. But it was non-copyrighted Christmas music. And we'll see what happens. I know that Stiggs gets claims against him for non-copyrighted stuff all the time. So we'll see what happens. It was just some entrance music. No big deal. But I just want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. Have a great Christmas Eve, not New Year's. Christmas Eve and Christmas. I hope you're spending time with your family and friends and whoever's important to you, relaxing, and not thinking about all the bad things that go on in this world. Think about the good things and how we try to do things positively on this little circle of ours here, where we try to be positive and entertaining, and keep it positive, keep it going. So with that, I just want to say thank you again so much for joining. I will not let the cat out tonight, Chris. Even though I don't have a cat, I still wouldn't let him out. It's too cold. But thanks to everyone who joined. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you in my next one, whenever that might be. And like I said, if you guys ever pick up this bottle, I'll link it into the description. I'll tag it in the description. And if you ever pick up the bottle, you could just go back and put this video on and taste it with me. Follow through, taste it as I taste it, and see what you come up with. See if you get the same reactions that I did. Overall, I thought it was a good experience for what the price was. So, thank you all again. And as I will say always, thank you for watching The Wine Guild. Merry Christmas, everyone.